All right, guys, I'm in my office gym, and it's time for me to get my mind set in order to do some exercises. And my approach is always the same. What am I trying to accomplish? Today I'm working on arms. So I'm time to warm up and think about arms. And one of the issues that I see time and time again, you guys have no intensity when it comes to working out. What I mean by that is your approach is wrong. You go to a machine, you go and grab dumbbells, and you're not considering what you're actually trying to accomplish. So for example, for arms, for me, if I'm gonna do concentration curls, I've got my mind set already as far as what I wanna focus on as it relates to the bicep and where I wanna go and get myself in the right place. And I know I'm not gonna lift heavy weights when I do this exercise. I'm gonna start with light weights. It's in my mind already how I want to approach it. And I don't think about the distractions. I'm not involved. I'm focusing on the exercise and what I wanna do. And if that requires you going into a corner in the gym, wherever you need to go to be alone, that's what you need to do. Don't be so concerned about the weight and the amount you're lifting. Think about it along the lines of your intensity. You can have incredible intensity with a 10-pound dumbbell and moving it in a certain direction, back and forth, with a certain range of motion, focusing on that muscle and that stretch and the connection between your brain and your muscle as you work through this exercise. This is where all the noise in your head disappears and you're solely focused on that muscle that you're working. This is what I call the intensity. And as you work through this and feel that pump, feel the blood flow going back and forth as you're working this particular muscle, everything else is gone. You're not hearing anything else. You're focused on this. And then you work the other side. Same thing. And as you're focusing on working this exercise and building this bicep back and forth, all you're focusing on is the pump. All you're focusing on is this particular area and this task. This declutters your brain. This puts you in a different place. There's no noise. You're here. Nobody takes it away from you. And your approach has to be consistent. In other words, I know I'm going to start out, and depending upon how I feel and how my body responds to me, I'll decide what type of weights I want to use. I may want to go a little heavier. So if I'm going to go a little heavier with the weights, I decide, okay, now it's time to go a little heavier. All right, so I'll go to 15. I don't necessarily think I want to go to 20 right away. I'll go up to 15, 5-pound increments. And people say, oh, that's not that much weight. Bullshit with regard to what the weight is. Think about the exercise and what you're doing and the muscle and where you're putting the pressure and how you're holding the weight. Even holding the weight, the dumbbell, in a certain direction creates a different type of stress on your arm. So when you're doing the exercise, again, you can feel it. And certain ways of movement with the range of motion, you can feel that pump as it works into your muscle. And this is what I call, again, the intensity associated with the exercise and your approach. It's a very simple mindset to get into, but the majority of people in the gym don't go there because they don't approach it the right way. I see way too many guys taking dumbbells and swinging the dumbbells, swinging the weight to try and move the weight back and forth like somebody's watching or taking an inventory on their weight. And when you look at their arms, it doesn't even look like they work out. And the reason why that's happening is because they're engaging so many different muscle groups to move the weight. But wouldn't it be more efficient if you focused on the actual muscle that you're working on with a lighter weight and your intensity increases? And as you develop that mindset shift and you're focusing on lifting that dumbbell, as you work through that, what's going to happen? You'll be able to start to progress and add a little bit more weight, and that'll put more stress on the muscle. That'll break it down a little more to help you grow. But when you go up to the higher weights and engage all different body parts to move that weight just for your ego, there's going to be no gains. In fact, you're going to do detriment to your body by doing it that way. So again, if you learn anything from this particular exercise and my discussion points as it relates to concentration curls and approach in the gym, it's intensity and thoughtfulness associated with whatever task or whatever exercise you plan on working as you enter the gym. Remember that. The noise disappears, you don't hear anything, you focus on the particular exercise you want to work on, and you move on to the next exercise. That's what it's all about. If you want to get gains, that's what you need to do. So now guys, if you like this content, if this is the type of stuff you like, I'll give you more of this type of stuff. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the like button. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm there as well. Subscribe. If you really have an interest and dive deeper, we've got the Collective, which is a membership-based community. I've got a ton more content in there as well for you all. And remember, everybody, keep it pro to pro.